Greetings, traveler.
Now that you're rich, bam, 2.5K, baby. All right. Constructed people as well. I talked about that just a minute ago. There is such a big difference between a professional player and a streamer. Even though we play Arena all the time, we aren't focused on being, the best we can be all the time. We're also entertaining and keeping schedules and all that, right? So it's different than when you're a professional player. I have no problem admitting that pro players are just better because that's what they do. Their entire focus is getting as good as they possibly can get to the game, and they sacrifice other stuff, like, for instance, the stream, right? Some people balance it really well. Like, I think RDU and Ties do a really good job of keeping a really high level and streaming. But a lot of the constructed folks, they sort of either don't stream or really, don't care about the stream as much as the performance. And it shows, right? They're really, really good at the game. The guy who got second individually played with the guy who got last individually. Man, that's Hearthstone sometimes, right? Could be brutal. All right. Threats kept talking arena players up yesterday. Hey, we won, didn't we? But I'm just saying that for people being like, I don't understand. Why are these professional players doing so well in a mode they're not familiar with? It's like, well, they are professional players, right? So they make a living off like a salary and prize money, right? Rather than making a living off just subscriptions and ad revenue, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, like Hunter is, for instance, right? He's just really, really, really fucking good, right? So yeah, sure, you put him in a different environment, he's still going to be really good. Like, you give him, 2 weeks to really study up on the meta, play everything. No doubt he's going to... Like, okay, so I would say that, let's say we watch Hunter Ace draft and play. There might be some things where we're like, I wouldn't do that, but that's purely knowledge-based. But then as he gets that knowledge and he starts, getting that 300 IQ brain thinking about the plays, he'll start making moves where we're like, oh, why aren't we doing that? Right? We are a rogue. Cogmaster could work, but I don't like, taking that gamble that early. Bone Guard is one of the 3-2s I'm okay with. All right, so Swash is Collins' boy. Buccaneer is Stein's boy. Who am I going with? It's funny, you have Contract, and I think all of these are actually an option, because if we're playing in a slower meta, it's an easy Contract, right? Slower metas, Buccaneer or Swash. Swash okay, but Buccaneer definitely gets worse in the slower meta. A fast meta, however, it's really nice to be able to get that early weapon out. Ooh, so Contract coming in at a 61.9. Buccaneer is 60.7 and Swashbuckler 60.5. So Swash technically the worst one according to the win rates. I guess I'm supposed to pick the Contract then and just see how it feels, even if we're in a tad, faster meta. So that's probably my pick then, just to see how it feels. If I'm going like, I'd rather have the good one drop, then we know for next time, but it has a significant bump in win rate. So let's go Contract then. Go with the person that got you the money. I'm actually abandoning both of you, and I'm going with the cold-hearted win rate. Hey, Shapiro. Congrats, man. You played out of your mind yesterday. Well done. Thank you, man. Oh, like, I've been repeating it a couple times, but I'm so happy I got that sort of off. Because I definitely felt pressure to perform this time because, like, I was nervous, right? For anyone who's paying attention, I was nervous, but I was also just focused, right? So it's not like the nerves got to me, but, like, I was... Especially at the start, I also had this massive headache at the start, but it got better. Like, because I had like caffeine withdrawal because I hadn't had any coffee that day because I wanted to, like, I don't want to just drink coffee the entire day, right? So I wanted to start drinking coffee as the event started. So that definitely pushed that a bit. I'm not sure about Back to the Office and Rogue. Technically, it could work, right? Yeah, they both... The manager has higher win rate than the Cold Blood. I don't know, man. No consideration for the mechs. I really don't like doing that because you're still paying 4 mana for a 2-drop that does not have a great stat line for now. So that is a big investment, right? For maybe getting synergy, right? So you're paying a big price for maybe getting synergy. You think Cold Blood's better, but you're worried about having too many spells. I don't like the 2/5 too much. Target dummy. Hey Senath, enjoy watching it. I had a really good time playing in it, obviously. I was just really happy to play with Collins as well. I'm on the call. Tachi was great last time, don't get me wrong. Like Tachi like single-handedly just took the team on its back and be like, we're getting top 10, motherfuckers. So Tachi did a great job. You know, I've just been playing with Collins for ages. So it's different, right? You guys know it's different. I guess we're going Panther. You could pick the Bluegill for the Cold Blood, but I don't want too many like awkward 2-mana cards. And this I think is okay. This I think is actually statted quite well. We could go with the Villain, but I think we try and hold out, honestly. Alright, this card is actually pretty good right now, especially if we're building it a bit slower. Not taking phase damage is nice. Alright, so Stein likes 5s. I really don't like Silver Hand Knight, but you can't argue with results. We do need 5s. Weren't you fresh back from Constructive when you played with Tachi? I think that was Gold Rush. I think I'd been playing again for a month or two when Tachi was my partner. You do like 1s too, though. Yeah, honestly, I feel like we make it happen, right? Just pick the Clockwork, make it happen. Did you guys have Deck Tracker? Yeah, we have Deck Tracker. But everything was off screen. That was still from the event. Okay, so Fan is good, but I think Premium 4 I'll take. You earned your sword yesterday. Yeah, like I was not looking at chat or like barely. I think you picked the Premium body. Might do it again here. No. Premium 4 is pretty okay. I think Warden's okay-ish because it has Taunt, right? We're still building a slightly slower mid-range rogue with like a contract at the end, so Taunt could do work. I'll take a Spider Tank. Doing okay on 3 right now. Buck's sort of a 3, but a bit more flexible. Doing okay-ish on 2 as well. Don't need this juggler. They also have a chip. They also have a ship's cannon. All right, this is great. Now we're really happy. We picked Yeti and we can pick Fan now. That's good stuff. All right, I think I'll just have to pick a 5/5 here. We need a couple things to play on 5. Plus, you know, there's a gnome. There's a frame bot, right? Got a couple of targets for now. Might get 1 or 2 more by the end of this. Wow. I don't think we need the others, but Tank would definitely make the deck a bit more consistent, whereas I think Contract makes the deck a lot more powerful. Take it for a spin, right? Double Contract deck. It should be powerful. Whew. Alright, well, Miscreant is the nuts. The other 2 would fit quite well, but you just can't argue with Miscreant. Can't argue with that guy. Alright, Bronze Gatekeeper works, but I think Microtech makes more sense. It still has the mech synergy with the Clockwork Knight, but it's a better standalone card. It's pretty good for the meta. Really liking Microtech right now. It also really does well against Druids. Just counter spread. Yep. Alright, probably need this Panda. We skipped past that Silver Hand, right? But I think that's okay. Still not insanely high on it. Alright, this could just be a Stalker. We haven't been picking 2 super highly. I'm definitely making the curve a little heavier on purpose. But I think I'd want it over a healer. Try to get another 4. I guess this works, right? I don't think Proud Defender is amazing, but it's a 4-mana card. Alright, Crazed Chemist here. And I think now that Clockwork Gnome is looking good to activate some combos, right? We get the spare part of that. That was good. Alright, well, take our final 3-drop here, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that sort of works. It's a little heavier on 3, but a lot of them are pretty good. Right, Microtech's pretty good right now. We're gonna get 2 spider tanks. Miscreant's not really a 3, but Buccaneer could be a 3. And then Illusionist's pretty good as well, but we can do this later. Here, I have a Fan of Knives, but I think I might just want the 4 mana card instead, just to make the curve a bit better. We could do with 1, maybe 2 more 4 mana cards. And we don't have that many 2 mana cards that we're gonna fill turn 4. And with 2 contracts and a Warden, I highly doubt that I want to add an Archmage to the deck. Alright, Yeti would work. Poison could also work. When I'm playing the slightly slower mid-rangey deck, the poison gets worse. So I'm not as high on poison as I was when we were going faster. The reason why poison could be good is we have a Miscreant, so we could combo that. We have a Chemist, we could combo that. But I think the Yeti, the beefy Yeti makes sense for this, you know. Like if you're building a mid-range deck, you need the mid-range bodies, right? So I think I'm still happy with Yeti. It's close-ish though. Okay, this is officially a little awkward for the 3s, but just pick the champion, move on. I'll probably just pick Loot Hoarder because it's the Hearthstone card in this pack. Alright, and then a Scribe I can make some room for. But you could see how that Archmage would have made things pretty darn awkward. Oh my god, okay. So I probably would revisit some draft choices if I knew I would get another Miscreant. Holy crap. I'm not sure if this is like a really, really good deck or just a good deck. It's kind of...
Valera versus Gul'dan.
Get back to my regular schedule.
What?
And hey, by the way, Redbeard, I can't even remember if I said hey. I read it all. I'm up to no good. Me too. Yeah, I think that if you know you're gonna get two, Miscreants, you take a Swashover contract, the first one. But that's crazy hindsight stuff. I'm still pretty happy with it, right? I'll take my dagger here, I think. Just rather safe than sorry, right? You could coin Horse Rider into this, but that's fine, right? Yeah, actually, let's book him. So, I mainly want to try out the contracts. Like, obviously, I know they're good, right? But in this, like, faster meta than before, are they still absolutely insane or not? I'll take my dagger now. I like how he's afraid of tapping. I guess we're getting Koi and Hellfired or so, right? Hey, Ransu. Dude, I've had 3 hours of sleep. Get off my back. Trip trades. This is actually pretty nice.
Here we go. Here we go.
Mind if I roll me?
What did you think about the final stage of Rivals Know Each Other's Plague deck list? So the problem is that if you want to keep it really, really in the spirit of Arena, you're going to make it so much harder to enforce the rules. Because it's a Twitch Rivals thing, right? So everybody's streaming it. You're probably not gonna have any delay. I don't know. I think it's very easy to criticize, but how do you enforce closed deck lists, right? It's so much harder when you actually think about it than at first glance, I would say.
No good.
Here we go.
Hey.
Shadows
So yeah, in an ideal world where everybody always plays by the rules, nobody's chat is trying to spoil things, yes. Of course, it's nice to have fully closed deck lists, but it's so incredibly hard to enforce, it's much better to just say, well, you know, because there is very, very likely going to be a way to figure out what your opponent's running, let's just make an open deck list.
Valera versus Valera.
Watch your back. I always do.
I don't know, just playing a one run. There's a lot of variance in that as well, right? But yeah. And it takes long and it's, yeah, I don't know. I honestly didn't really mind the format. But it's easy to say as the winner, right? But yeah, overall, it's hard. I mean, if it was really easy, we would have had way more arena tournaments already, right? So it's hard to come up with something that is manageable in terms of organization, rule enforcement, time constrictions. What was phase 2? Draft a deck, best out of 1 versus the other semifinalists. Finals, draft a second deck, play best out of 3 conquest.
Depart, foul creature!
Honestly, guys, it's always easy to criticize, right? But you have to see where we came from and how things are improving. Just the fact that we received accounts to play on, hello? That's crazy, right? Every card golden, every card available, anonymity in terms for stream sniping, like that was really, really good, right? So overall, top-notch event. It's definitely moving in the right direction. Of course, can it be better? Yes, but a lot of it is also a little bit, you know, delayed because of how, you know, we don't have an arena mode tournament, mode, etc., etc., etc. So, but there were so many things that were really good that, yeah, it's easy to lose track of that. It's pretty awkward. We're gonna need this combo soon. What do you think if you had to pick one deck from your 3 runs in phase 1 for phase 2? I liked the added factor of drafting with, because if you're drafting a deck to play arena with, and then after playing arena with it, you have to play against someone else. That's a little weird. Whereas if you know you're going to have to play versus those people and you're drafting it, I think that's cool. I think it adds a cool layer to the experience. Ooh, alright, so looks like we're gonna have something. Are we okay? Well, I feel like you play Yeti, and if he trades, it's okay, right? I feel like a lot of the time they just trade because they don't want to kill their cards. If you trade the Barber, he takes 1 extra damage trading back. Well, you don't know that, right? If he has damage out of hand, it suddenly gets a lot worse. Oh. That is a tragic turn of events, so... that is 1-0 for Mr. Contract here. And he checked for hard removal, did he not? Poor man. Yeah, and the first decks might have 3 of a kind, right? So yeah. I liked it. Honestly, like it can always be better, right? But I liked it. There was a lot of good stuff there. Our opponent went all in, baby.
Run! I will hold them off.
Oh, up to no good.
Here we go.
Magic detected.
Oh, Miscreant's so good.
Double time and double play.
Well, that contract absolutely mauled him. Guys, once again, if you want to make the perfect arena format that is at the same time affordable, executable, fun to watch, like, go for it. I think it's there's so many issues, right, making arena tournaments. It's so easy to say like, oh well, why not this, why not that? But then you think about it for a tad longer and you're like, well, okay, yeah, there's problems with this, there's problems with that.
Feed the fish.
Because there's many different sides of that. Maybe not sides, but there's a lot of factors in that equation. Because it's not just about, okay, which one is the most skill representative? Because it's arena, that means you're just gonna have to play a ton of matches, right?
What is my purpose?
Yeah, so I think phase 2 can indeed, you know, use some work. Maybe you just leave it out and just do phase 1. I thought it added a nice touch. Once again, I'm biased, right? We won the whole thing, so obviously I enjoyed it, but I think it does add a nice touch. I think if you are on the receiving end and you draft a worse deck, it does feel bad. I do want to repeat that, you know, after looking at the drafts, there's definitely some choices that I feel they, you know, maybe messed up on a little bit that they could have done better had they had the format a bit more in mind.
Depart, foul creature!
Phase 1 needs more runs if it's the only phase. Well, it's 6 hours where you push for 3 runs. You could try 4 runs in 8 hours. I don't know. I'm not going to have daggered. That's so weird. I'm not sure if I like it. Maybe I should just dagger. Target Dummy, what were the other 2 picks? They were bad, and Target Dummy is actually okay. Target Dummy combos in Rogue. So the problem with the rerolls... The problem with the rerolls is that you decrease the chance of competitors facing off against each other. Even though I like the reroll part of the competition, the result of saying, okay, everybody has to go at the same time, that does drastically increase the chance that people run into each other.
I comply.
Those were some really good sparks. Kills the 3-drop.
I comply.
Run! I will hold them off.
Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
The battle is over. You win.
How much money will you invest in a muffin cam?
Vanilla versus Gul'dan.
She's suffering from the heat, guys. Let's see.
Watch your
She was not built for the sweater. All she knows is that wherever that thing is, it's a little chillier. I'm gonna follow that thing around. I sort of like the hand. Just keep it. So many options.
I am ready.
Just like that. Our curve changes. That's okay.
here we go.
Where's Collins? He's moving today. So he will not be streaming. Thank you, Shrove. Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. Really, really enjoyed the event. I mean, I always think it's a bit weird, right? It's like, yeah, I won money. You know, we won the whole thing. It was great. I was like, really, Shady? Oh, I did not expect that. Tell me more about how it was great.
Here we go.
Does Mike know his investment's paying off already? I don't think that the details concern him too much. Right?
Run! I will
How far did your last run go? 9. We got stopped by 3 implosions rolling a 4 in one game. That was actually really tilting at the time. This guy just actually rolls 4 on 3 implosions over the course of a couple turns. It was heartbreaking.
Calm down. I'm a
Whoa, Burger Timer, thank you for gifting the 5 subs to Eggplant Emoji, Blind Eye DM, I'm Hops, Thomas Peterson, and Alessio Martinez. Thank you, man. Welcome, guys. Appreciate that. Oof. Target dummy, eh? A dummy. I think you do want the lackeys out, yeah. ASAP. We need lackeys in there! Me too! So I get a 4-drop out of this and just tempo it out. Just pew pew. Get a big board. Or I could just dagger bump and save all my shit. I don't think we need to play that fast.
Here we go.
It's not my time!
It's not my time. You see a pally who faced... Merps faced a pally with 3 Krakens, 3 Shovel Fists. No, that is outrageous. I want to say, tell me he won that, but if somebody lives long enough to actually show off 3 Krakens and 3 Fists, then I don't think you win, right?
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Hey, 1 implosion rolled a 2. Yeah, but that was what these guys, man, they love their lackeys so much. Incensus, thank you for the 10. Where is Jon Snow? Ooh, out of nowhere. My man Snow. He won it? Wait. So the opponent revealed 3 Krakens, 3 Shovel Fists, and Merps won. What was the context of that game? How did that happen? Because that seems so weird. This is a bit awkward because I kind of don't want to kill the Ogre, but if I play Panda and the Ogre connects to Hellfire, we'll do a lot of work.
So many options.
We could actually go for a slower play then and go Buck Dagger.
Choose
Smack,
two.
smack, smack. Smack, smack, smack. Smack, smack, smack. I don't think this play is right, but I'm a little bit too tired to really fuss about it.
Here we go.
It's still not the worst against Hellfire. Also, what I like is that you can go play a guy, rush it, evolve it. But I do think that we're not playing optimally, but we knew that wouldn't happen today. Right? Admiral complaining about Merps not hitting face. Yeah, it feels so black and white with Admiral, right? It's like, well, go face. I'll go face. Every time I was just like, why not face? Why not face? Do you play Arena on EU? The last couple days I've been on an A. I think this is EU. Most of the time it'll be EU, yeah. So he's got a Lackey right now.
So many options.
I think the trade and evolve is fine. I think I probably will just play the Shadow Pan and not use the mana properly. Oof. Get flipped. Get flipped.
We are the sword.
Here we go.
Would you say there's a different meta on a U and an A? Maybe a small one where there's like a slight class preference, this or that. Overall, I think it's pretty negligible. You are not prepared. And a tap blast. Let's go. Tap a tap. Tappity tappity tappity. Oh, that is good. That is really good. Rush Lackey stepping up once again, baby. Just like that. This little 1-1 clears the board. He's snipping? Wait, did he just... Did he... Oh wow, he snip snapped for 1. That's weird. Intensification commencing. Showerhead? Showerhead, right? You aim the showerhead at like your feet, then your arms, right? Start with your limbs, and then, you know, splash a little on your chest, and be like, ah, and then you're all fresh. What is the pick between warrior, shaman, or druid? For me, that's a solid druid. Big druid fan. Are cold showers better in hot weather? Yeah, right? I mean, I don't know if I'm being memed right now. It's like, is like an ice cold drink better in hot weather? Right? It's like, well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Alright. Literally describing my cold shower routine. I think most people intuitively do that, right? They don't just go like, alright, let's fucking go in. Alright.
Here we go.
And push a little bit of damage against the warlock. What is the peak temperature where you live? Oof. It's definitely not like tropical, but we're not used to this. Let me see. The chart with the last few days. So I did go for the trades.
It's clobbering time.
So Saturday we're getting 32 degrees Celsius. That's pretty annoying, sort of.
Here we go.
We never have below 30. Yeah, but you guys, when you get born, there's like heat resistant parts, right? We don't have those. Like your skin is adjusted to it,
Trogzor. Trogzor.
bioengineered to resist hot temperatures.
Run! I will.
Let's see what's yesterday was actual shadow flame, huh?
We shall end this disturbance.
Yeah, like 34 I think is the most we're getting. According to this. Oh yeah, that's Steel Rager. So specific.
Run! I will hold them off.
I feel like I might actually remove here. Push to 5 and save the cold blood.
I wonder.
Even though I'm giving up on the pirate synergy.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
Here we go.
That's a lot of pressure, and you have a cold blood and a 2 damage weapon, so it's a good chance you can kill him. Double trade, cannon, pirate. I don't think it's aggressive enough. I think you want to make the aggro play here. It's also the turn before Kraken or Fist. That's pretty big. I don't think there's too many insane targets for hard removal to hit, so killing a 2/6 taunt is okay.
This time.
The meta's just faster, so you need to adjust to that. But 2/6 taunt is okay, I guess.
Valera versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
I am ready.
Thank you, Mac Victor. It was a lot of fun. Let me see here. It saves you the contract. Yeah, but that's the mentality I think we need to not have there. That save the removal mentality. I think it's more save the reach mentality. Because if I like my main problem is if I cold blood there, and because of my cold blood, I end up putting my guy on 1 and then he coils it or something like that, or he has an AoE. I think it's way worse. I think it's far more likely he gets to deal with the cold-blooded minion than he gets to have a big taunt. keep in mind, right? There's no Furious Etten, there's no Bog Creeper in the meta,
So
so I think it's a very meta-specific play. I mean, I could flip Dagger his guy, have a 3/2, but flip Miscreant next turn is pretty good. So I think I'm actually just gonna Dagger bump. That'll be fine.
So many.
Looking at the second phase portion of Twitch Rivals, Dreads didn't mention you have some deep constructed tournament experience, looking at the opponent's deck, tuning the draft accordingly. I don't think Language Hacker's team is doing that. Yeah, I didn't even prep for that like properly. It just felt very natural, right? It was just, it's such a game changer that you know their list that I wanted to make sure we took advantage of everything. And normally you construct a deck with things in mind, but we could very specifically see what they had, right? So yeah, quite different. Yeah, I think we get the lackeys rolling. This is just so weak. We'll turn this into a 6/5. That seems a bit worse. And then we have coin 6 drop next turn if we want it. Is it 100% if you're 5-0 your opponent is 2? No, it is just more likely. Just more likely. Wow. Those are not exactly things we want here. We'll see. It was funny, right? Yeah, I was roping the turns because I was like, no, look at their list. Think of all the cards they could play, right? We need to think, does that change our play at all? Cause I was like, I just want to play. I was like, dude, you're literally right now, like this is 10 minutes work for like, I don't know, like plus $1,000. It's like, how are you too tired for like that? It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. He was like, I don't want to do that, man. It's like, oh, it's a lot of thinking and stuff. I was like, wow, Collins. My man, please, come on. Alright, so we got a fan. And a fan is not bad here. Could also just trade this and put a scribe on the board. And then he makes a dude and then we fan. This is also an option. Maybe even go for the Warden. And then you have a fan for 3. Or fan for 2 and 1 from your weapon. I think I actually like that. It's weird, because fan is okay here. I think I like this a tad more. I think that if you scribe, he might go make a thing, trade, and Maelstrom, right?
It's not just the city of
Yeah, looks like the fan is gonna pay off now. Okay, we got the assassin one. So if I fan here, I leave him with a 1/1. How much did you win? We got 5k in total, so 2.5 each. I think originally it was 6k, but they removed some prize money to give it to the rest. Sort of like last short notice, I don't know. I think you do this first, because I'd rather play a 3-drop.
Choose soon.
Back in your cell.
Here we go.
I don't really want this Burgle, but I don't want Necreum Vial or Vanish either. So I think Vanish could get cute with the lackeys, but it's so expensive, right? Thank you, nerd. Appreciate that. I feel so weird, man, just reading the names out loud. It's like, well, I guess it's his name, so just call him a nerd. Shady hasn't paid chat the $1 he promised. Damn, they were witnesses. Alright.
What a tragedy! That breaks down.
Here we go. Meet you soon.
Trying to calculate the fountain, but I didn't go fully through it, whether the target dummy makes enough of a difference or not. You enjoyed yesterday more than the Super Bowl or World Series, not to mention that my team won. Yes, it was, yeah, I'm happy that I was able to bring it home, guys. I've said it a couple times already, but I did feel like I had to perform in this one, right? The two previous ones, my showings were mediocre at best and probably just bad. And then this one just knocked it out of the park. Stop tapping, please. I'm sorry. I don't care enough right now.
It's time for a little.
Stop asking me to tap, please. Okay.
There is little time.
Did only Shady play in phase 2? No, we co-opted, but it was on my account. Well, my god account, round 2. I don't think we go all in to find lethal here. I do need some damage for this totem, though. It's 12. It's 1 off. I can push 11 with the Sinister and the contract. Frostshock's sort of what I was looking for to push 6 here, right?
Meet you soon.
Run! I will.
Here we go.
Put it on paper.
Okay, good job winning, Shady, but when do we start the chat drafts again? This weekend. This weekend we chat draft. I went for the Burgle here because it costs me a Dragonling mechanic on the board. It's not a huge price. And if I whiff, I play a Loot Hoarder. If I find something to deal damage, I can push 6 phase. Not to mention, you could just also get lethal. Alright. So he gets the thing. He's on 14. We have 6, 9, 1 off? 1 off again. I think I might contract here just to remove healing. Keep the pressure like that. Was it simultaneous drafting? So we weren't entirely sure what the rules were on that, so I just minimized chat, make sure I didn't see anything. We drafted our own thing, and we didn't have any information on their deck, so... I'm not exactly sure where the rules were, but I didn't want to take any chances. We knew the first deck, so we based our draft on that one. Because if it's Conquest, then you can target a deck that's really strong. I think their mage was always going to struggle versus us. Their mage was a really slow mage with double conjures and no AoE. So all we had to do was pick 2 fast decks, and that would give them a lot of trouble.
Here we go.
Who carried between you and Collins? Collins did more individual work, for sure. Also have no problem admitting that. I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and I have some really... that gives for some really good consistency.
Thrall! For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
I kept the 2-drop here in case he has something. Just like Gon and Killua. It's good we win that. It's very nice. Good old Goldshire Footmany.
Here we go.
Ooh. Shady's very humble until you disagree with a play of his. I think chat in general overestimates how often they're right on disagreeing with a play. Why didn't you just do the obvious thing? Like, well, because the obvious thing was wrong in this case. Streamers never... Honestly, guys, I feel like you can't really give me shit for that. I think out of... maybe not all the streamers, but out of a lot of streamers, I'm the one that will sort of concede that he messed up very, very easily. It's just that a lot of the time that the people who claim that I messed up, they just don't have the skills necessary to really understand the situation, and they have this very surface level understanding of the situation, and they base their entire comment off that. But had they taken 2 extra seconds to evaluate it, then they would have come to a different conclusion. So yeah, that's more the stuff that I don't like.
Here we go.
Stop saying I'm a fucking dumbass, please. No, I mean, that means you're not a dumbass, right? Do you see it? It's the people who are convinced they're right, but they take no time to actually think about it. Shady, don't take us too seriously. No, I mean, like I said, like, the reason why I'm more sensitive to that is that, especially when I was a teenager, I was incredibly arrogant, and early 20s as well. And I'm sure that, you know, in 5 years from now, I'm going to think that I was still pretty arrogant right now, but it's gotten so much better. So it is something that I'm sensitive for, because I always need to check, well, is there some truth there? Because the record, right, does not exactly work in my favor there. I think we just assume that the draft bails us out here, to be honest. There's not much to talk about. We're gonna need to hit a 2-drop or 5-drop or so. That's a great bait, Ogre Baller. Yeah. It's those kind of comments. Those are the ones. Hey, Maps. What's wrong? Okay, that helps.
I comply.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Ramping him into Fountain is going to hurt, but we're sort of at this line, right?
Here we go.
I don't like playing the Illusionist here. We're trading with this guy then. You have to assume he has Fountain and that he can coin it, so it's not as easy, but I think we saved the contract to get the Fountain, yeah.
Must choose soon.
I was thinking about daggering, but maybe I got a little bit too caught up in the... I mean, the fact that I drew this, it makes no difference then, right? Yep. Yeah, I should have just taken it. That's my bad. Well, I didn't think of Fountain plus Scheme, I just thought of Fountain.
Mind if I roll
Here we
me?
go.
If he Fountains, Windy kill a 4-2 and a 2-3 anyway. No, it's not that. It's like, I wasn't thinking about the Scheme plus Fountain, right? Yeah, I messed up this game. I'm somehow 6-0. I guess it's because the deck is insane, because I'm still not really playing that well.
Here we go.
We should have not fanned the Wall-Fi rally ever. We should have just taken it, and then we win. But we made a stupid play, and we're getting punished for it.
What a tragedy! Better let this down.
Which is okay.
Here we go.
If you make stupid plays, it's fine to get punished for them.
Well played.
Valera versus Valera.
Watch your back. I always do.
Why are we still playing Arena? The event is over and TFT came out. Ooh, I might actually just go dummy Miscreant instead of coining it. To get the coin cannon out. Probably not though. Probably still coin Miscreants, get the lackeys out. Because the reason why coin Miscreant works as well is if you get the evolve one, you get the 4-drop immediately. Thank you, Mart. Yeah, it was so good. So much fun.
Up to no good.
Have you tried TFT yet? I have not. No. Not tried TFT yet. But honestly, you know, I'm not too excited yet. It's like, ooh, and an SI. Ooh, this guy going in. We got a good one to get back on the board though. Spider Tank here will do some work.
Such a beautiful design.
I feel like whenever, like I'm enjoying Path of Exile off stream right now. I think that the TFT bug, it's probably better to not get bitten by that. Because Path of Exile's been fine to just play a little bit on the side. I don't want to get hooked on TFT and then not play any Hearthstone. You play Path of Exile? Well, poorly and only recently, but yes, I do play Path of Exile now. Made my very first character.
Perfect cat.
I'm playing Softcore Blitz. Like I said, it's my very first character. Do you play Hearthstone? From time to time, right? I get invited to events sometimes. I play a little Hearthstone in those, but other than that. Would be fun to watch you play Path of Exile. If you're interested in that, you could follow Shadybunny 2. Twitch.tv/Shadybunny 2. If I stream games that aren't Hearthstone, it's usually over there. Good old 2 damage Lackey swings the board yet again. Good old 2 damage Lackey, eh? Guess we're just gonna taunt. Makes sense on the boards. Got a freeze as well, 22 health. He had a really powerful start with Backstab SI. Atlantica Secret Stream. I haven't played Atlantica in a long time. Last time I played actual, just regular Dota Auto Chess on that channel. Link to alt, please. It's literally just Shadybunny 2. But I guess I'll write it down. I think this is it, right? Get out from under. Thank you for the 39. Another very, very long streak. Welcome back. Thank you so much. And tier 2 as well. Thank you so much.
So
I mean, we can try to get the ship's cannon to pop off here. But I think you just get the Panda out and freeze this, right?
We are the sword in the shadows.
It is not my time.
And then next turn, maybe ship's cannon, buck, dagger to drop. That feels better.
Come close and listen.
Come close and listen. I think I stand by the cannon play. Yeti seems kind of bad on this, right? I think we just ignore the shredder. Good old ignore the shredder.
Feed the fish, last lover.
here we go.
It is not my time.
Strike.
We'll be careful to watch you learn PoE. Yeah, the thing with PoE is that like I played a bit and then I do something else, and I don't do like, you know, like a couple hours. Well, maybe tomorrow, right? Tomorrow I have my day off. Maybe tomorrow I stream some PoE on that account, right?
Silver Moon shall not fall.
Powering up. Portal online.
Yeah, I think a lot of PoE is not that fun to watch as well, right? It's just, oh, let's do the same thing again. It's fun to do because you're making money and shit, right? Getting closer to making your character more powerful, but it's not necessarily always fun to watch. But there are lots of getting a lot of friend requests here. The list is full.
I always do.
I have that one. No, that one guy removed me immediately, right? Oh, that was on an A. Last time we made a friend, that didn't go too well. Still not used to this Friday off schedule. I think it's good for the stream overall because it's. I think the Friday and the Monday off, they're the things that make it pretty easy for me to say, oh, you know, if I want to try TFT or whatever, I'll do it on those days. If I just have Monday, so many weeks, I don't actually get to do anything, right? Like my day is filled with stuff. Going from, oh, get a haircut, go to the store, go to the gym, clean the house, do dishes, answer emails, set up something for the stream, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, that was my day off, right? So I think if you have 2 weeks in a row of those and you don't like have an actual day off, it's a lot easier to say, fuck it all, we're playing out of chess for 3 weeks. Right, so it's, I think for the stream, for the long term, it's actually going to be pretty good. I wonder if your friend got banned. I still didn't really get how to report him, so that didn't happen. to know good. Me too. Seems like a 4-6 here does better than a 5-6 that gives him a coin.
Run! I will hold them up.
So I did have to really think about taking the extra day off because it's not something that comes very natural to me. You underestimate how fun it is for us to watch you learn a new game like PoE. I don't think so, because if I have half my viewership, that means it is an excellent game to stream. Half. Excellent. Now imagine something like PoE that looks like a thing that's just running around doing brrr or whatever it is doing. I think I'd be lucky to have a quarter. Like, I'd have a quarter of my viewership playing PoE, and that would be good. So, I don't think you... I think I'm just gonna go in, right? I'm just dummy miscreant. We'll see if it works out or not. All the rest looks pretty bad.
Choose soon.
It is not my time.
Anyways. Guess I'll do it that way. Well, I had the smaller viewership base then, right? So there's a higher density of the more loyal viewers, I would say. The people that are just here be like, ah, I'll just watch whatever Shady plays. It'll be fun. I feel like I might have to rush just to get the panda out because it's so much better than the others. TFT has a... Yeah, we're not talking about TFT right now, though. We're talking about PoE. Because funny enough, it's a lot easier for me to lose myself in a game like TFT than it is PoE. Which shouldn't be, right? It's sort of backwards.
Double time and double
Sort of a backwards way of how things should work. Normally the MMO loot-driven thing should make you want to play a lot more. But for me, it's just if I'm playing a new game like, in this case, TFT, my brain is just constantly thinking of like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could try this strategy, I need to play more, I need to watch replays, I need to see what other people are doing. Whereas PoE, it's more like, oh, cool, we're getting more loot and we're playing a little bit more and it's fun and it's nice. But it's not like, oh my god, I need to play so much, I need to grind. It's gonna get awkward if he 3-kills the 2-4 now. I have not played this game perfectly, which really goes to show the power level of a good rogue deck right now. Ooh, okay. That contract is doing so much work. I thought he would 3-kill the 2-4, that's what I would do here. But I can see how he decides against it. But this contract is ridiculous. I know we were thinking about it a little bit, weren't we, right? Like, is it really gonna be better? And the answer is yes, yes it is. Okay, he's done. That's like, oh, that is bullshit. Okay, I'm out of here. What is TFT PoE? Yeah, Teamfight Tactics, which is the League of Legends auto chess variant, and Path of Exile, which is sort of a Diablo-esque game, but then still different in its own way. I'm not sure if I want to keep Violet. I think you want to assume you're going to play a lackey, and Violet without a dagger is not even that great, right? Yeah, I honestly think a 2-drop's better because then you have lackey 2-drop in a lot of cases. How do you keep from feeling trapped playing Hearthstone? I think that the baseline has to be that you still enjoy it, right? So that's definitely the baseline for me. I still enjoy Hearthstone, especially when we get these events. But I know sort of what makes me tick, and I can't play Hearthstone casually for more than a day or so. It drives me nuts. If I'm just playing and getting bounced around by the RNG and I'm not paying enough attention, I can't do that. But, you know, whenever I lose a bit of interest in Hearthstone, all I do is, like, I just really, really focus and try to figure out exactly which curves work for the meta. And because of the nature of the rotation system, you always have things to do because of how fast it changes. You can dedicate your entire 2 months to figuring everything out and you still won't have every class down perfectly, right? Every curve, every matchup. But that's obviously a lot of work and you don't always want to do that. Let's see what we're doing here.
Suffer as the wildlands suffer.
Suffer as the wildlands suffer, eh? I think I might just rush the Stalker
Suffer
in
as
to
the
not take too
wildlands
much
suffer.
damage. Because we got a Yeti coming up and I kind of don't want to get too wrecked, right? Could get the dagger out and just trade here, but then he gets a good trade and this is going to be annoying. So I think I will actually take it.
Slippery.
It's not the greatest play, but it's good enough, right? And it's a Druid, so we gotta keep him contained. Anyways, what was I explaining? Yeah, so... Let me read it again. Yeah, and then the other part of it is just realizing that, in a way, it is a job, right? So it's okay to not always be like, oh my god, yes, I get to go to work, it's so cool, right? It's like, it's okay, right? I mean, I do really enjoy my job, and there are many, many days where I do feel like that. Like, yes, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to stream, it's going to be good. Sometimes it's a little less, and that's fine. I think that's probably one of the bigger points is that those days will be there, and you'll have to be okay with them. It's perfectly fine to feel that way. I think I might kill the Trent here. Yeah, guess we'll trade this one. So just keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind that even when you're streaming and you're playing video games, it's still, you know, your job, your career. So sometimes in order to really enjoy doing something, you have to do stuff you don't necessarily enjoy. And that means that, you know, if there's a particularly boring meta, sometimes it's like, all right, well, you know, let's make an effort to still enjoy it anyway.
What if?
You're in trouble now.
Oh, hey, Lena. Yes, those luck bits. Absolutely. They did a lot of work. For sure. Violet Dagger, clean up. Just Panda makes no sense, though.
So many options.
Maybe hold Violet for when we're reducing our damage. Maybe Lackey next round finds me something, right? Yeah, Lackey next round might find me something.
Here we go.
You have any tattoos, and will you ever get any? I will probably never get any, and then yes, I don't have any.
It's getting hot in here.
Slippery.
I definitely feel like you look for the spell here. The scribe doesn't do much. Might still taunt. We'll see. I might backstab a 1/1 just to remove a body here. It's like backstabbing a 2/2 if he's gonna buff, or a 3/3 if he's gonna double buff.
We are the sword in the shadows.
Here we go.
What a tragedy! Better write this down.
That makes that buff a lot worse. Huge draw. I feel like I just take the scribe out preemptively with that draw. Because if I hold the flame strike and he pops it on its own,
Options.
and then buffs, it's gonna be a problem.
Shadow strike.
Ooh, Miscreant now into the evolve one is pretty nasty. Yeah, I think so. I think there's decent odds this is not bad.
to no good.
Alright. So we can rush this and trade here, and it's still okay. Because we are sort of getting there, right? It's also pretty decent versus Forest 8, because it turns us into 2 damage. And we have this versus Forest 8 as well. Okay, no Forest 8, but if this is the spell lackey, you might get it. Looks like he got the evolved one. Magma Rager, boys. I'll take the clear. I'm still pretty happy removing all Druid's bodies.
What a tragedy!
Here we go.
I read it the first time around Ogre Baller, and I don't see the value of the comment. I don't even know how much you'd have to give Ogre Baller. It would be a stupid amount, like several millions, I think. Money's not that important to me, so it would have to be something that would basically mean that for the rest of my life I'm financially independent or something. I don't know. And even then, I would probably still say I'll get there eventually without the tattoos. Retro would do it for free. That's great. That was great. Hey. So good, man.
Rush, I will hold them off.
Here we go.
Never skip dig day.
Never skip dig day. Who wants a dig day, guys? Going once, going twice, off the top. There we go. Girl, look at that dig day. Girl, look at that dig day. It works out.
Where shall I strike?
Well, he knows I have Shovel Fist, so that won't cut it. How do you feel about Rogue? When you know what you're doing, it's the strongest class around right now, for sure. I picked Mage over Rogue in the tournament because I feel like I know what I'm doing with Mage much more than with Rogue. This draft is quite the outlier, though. Have the contracts performed? Yes. They've been absolutely amazing. Rogue's a bit more complicated. Yeah, I mean, I think all the classes have their own little things you need to know. Like you have the top 4 ones, right? Pally, Rogue, Druid, Mage. So I think between those 4 you just pick on comfort. But if you want to get the strongest possible one, you should probably get comfortable with Rogue. I'm gonna keep this. Coining a 1/5 against Druid seems like it would be really strong. Well, if you don't know what you're doing with any class, then yes, pick Rogue. My assumption was that you knew what you were doing with some of the classes, right?
Here we go.
I comply.
It's clobbering time.
Here we go.
like my invention.
I comply.
Well met.
Yeah, Rogue can definitely get a little trickier. That is true. There's more decisions early game. And you need a bit more game sense to feel, am I going to run out of cards or is it going to be okay? I think that's a lot of Rogue's decisions. Continuously going back and forth. Am I going to have enough cards? Am I going to have enough damage? And once that feeling gets a lot stronger, your Rogues are going to do a lot better. Should probably play this guy first, but I don't think it matters. But in some weird world where it turns out that had I saved this for like denying him a Starfire lethal, but small cases, but yeah, probably should lead with this guy. In what way do you mean that, Joe Bros? I'm sure it's meant well, but I think my instinct when somebody calls me a simple guy, it doesn't necessarily take it as a good thing. Right on time. But very expensive here. But I think I still dagger. I have this in case he goes big. So let's spread in case he wants to go white, which almost every druid wants to.
Here we go.
I feel if you keep a druid's options to developing more stuff for a big guy rather than developing more stuff a big guy or buffing, it's better. So if he spreads, we have 2 small minions. If he goes big, we have the contract. So I think it's better to do this, even though it feels a bit iffy.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, no, Joe Brass. I assumed it was something like that, so don't worry about it. Like, I'm not sitting here like, explain yourself, bro. Wow. That did not seem like the play. Our combos are gonna get really awkward. But I really want to play this and this rather than just this and redagger. So I'm going to push my bad turns a bit back and we'll get there somehow. I'm still not too worried about not playing these guys because I have this. So we'll see. He has a forest aid, we lose. He doesn't. The Vial of Warden can be useful to taunt for the potential forest aid, but I think it's too nice here because it allows you to just smack him. That's definitely where we want to be. I think as Rogue at this stage of the game, it's good to start going in. He has Kraken or Shovel Fist. Shovel Fist better for him here. But he still needs to put the 6/4 into a 4 damage minion, so it's really not that bad. Otherwise, he's just dead. And then we have the contract if we want it. Yeah, I think we just contract the Shovel Fists, play a 2-drop full smork. Let's see what he wants to do. Just pressure, pressure, pressure. Starfall on its own is not enough. He doesn't have Starfall, right? He would have done that first.
Well played.
Well played.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Poison worked. Pog.
Versus
Yeah, I think Nourish makes sense there, Stein.
Protect the wild.
Should have definitely had a Force State out already.
Back.
Against a Druid, I might buck first, but we do have Ship's Cannon, which increases the value of holding the buck. Drawing Clockwork Gnome here would be great, of course. The value of making a Druid coin hero powering over doing anything else is so big. I'm gonna give it up.
feed the fish, landlubber.
Druids are all about just pushing the board.
I wonder.
Are you better than Collins? No, I wouldn't say so. But Collins also wouldn't say that, so... I think both of us would give you a different answer. You often regain the tempo on turn 3. Yeah, but not when you have the 3-drop already, I would say. You were late today? Yeah, I had 3 hours of sleep. It's definitely late today.
This only works on a single mind.
Versus Druids, I think it's just good to be mindful of, you know, how... I mean, it's good to be mindful of every class, how they want to win, but Druid does that by pushing early tempo, so sacrificing your Buccaneer, I think, makes sense versus them, but I don't think any other class, like maybe Hunter.
Locked and loaded. Run! I will hold them off.
I don't think putting my Violet on 1 health is better than letting my 2/6 eat that next turn. You had too much value keeping it in hand? Yes, but value is not my problem here. I'm worried about getting pushed off the board. Oh, thank you, Fate Hand.
What a
And welcome.
tragedy. Better write this
Welcome,
down.
welcome. I honestly think I might just trade Dagger and have the Miscreant out. The other one is Scribe and hit him in the face. But I think leaving him with 3 scrolls into a 2/1 and a 1/4 is actually okay-ish.
I am ready.
No good.
Well, hello there, Anthony Marshall.
Unleash.
Wait, you went for another 3 hours with Collins? Damn. I think weirdly enough this worked out, even though I'm usually not a big fan of killing scribes.
What a
Here
tragedy.
we
Better
go.
write this down.
We dealt with a scribe with minimal effort, I'd say, because we had a 1/4 on the board. He ended up dunking a lot of damage in there. We got our lackeys popped.
I wonder.
I feel like Ogre Baller is not really here to, you know, I don't know. It feels like it's quite provocative, right, his comments, so I'm not sure if we should take him too serious. But if it will satisfy him, I did say that Collins is a better overall player, but the amount of things you need to factor in are just enormous. One of the things, for instance, is that I think I'm way better at tryharding than Collins. But I think that if we are both not tryharding, Collins is by default stronger.
Waits for no one.
I think in general I just have a better tolerance for doing the boring, tedious things that will raise your win percentage. But as I said earlier, I don't think you're here to really talk, right? So it's probably just a waste of time. I feel like you might actually just want to contract the combatant. If he hits you with an Ironbark next turn, he still needs to double trade here, and then you can chemist. But I think the other lines aren't necessarily better, and the next turn we have more options here. Because it also puts the combatant in your hand. It means you can play the control position here. The bottom line for me is that it's not relevant. It used to be way more relevant for me. I used to be a lot more insecure. I needed to perform in order to think that people had a reason to watch me. That's gotten a lot better, so I try to just not concern myself too much with it. It's just not that important for me who is better. I like to compare myself. It's maybe a little cheesy, right? But I like to compare myself to past me, not present someone else. Because if you're playing that game, you can't win. Right? There's always someone who's better than you at something. So you can't win that game. But if you compare yourself to past you, it's much easier to win that one. And you'd be surprised how far you come after a while. I guess Chemist is too good here, but Combatant gives you 5 with the Lackey as well. But Chemist is just clean. Hey, Collins. You too, man. I heard you did alright.
Yes, me and Mr. White.
We were probably somewhat close to killing him, but we're playing as the Druids. Even the Forest 8 isn't the worst thing here. Got a 2-4, a 2-1. Can't hero power. Have to go. Do you still plan on streaming in 3 to 4 hours? No, I'll probably call it after this run. Like I said, today was a short stream. Yeah, we got like 3 hours in. That's obviously not as much as I would normally do, but I streamed as long as I slept. I guess that's a fair compromise. My girlfriend also came home and I didn't see her yesterday at all, so trying to keep everything a little bit balanced. This is where it gets a little tricky.
Unleash the beast.
Choose soon. Here we go.
Yep, very tricky. So, Auto Defense Matrix and Redemption have both very different outcomes there. You have 3 damage on your face and 2 on the Kobold Lackey. So if you swap it down to 5 HP, you have your face for 3 and the Lackey for 2. But do you check with the 1-1 first to check for Auto Defense Matrix, or do you keep the 1-1 to kill the 5-1? I think because it was entirely random, the secret, it was too hard for me to make that decision. So I just spread and I went face. If he has a Starfall, the 4-2 is a bit more awkward, but there's still a 5-4 and a 4-4 on the board, so it's tough to deal with. I think overall it's okay. The reversing switch is gonna cost us 1 damage, right? Because we could have killed this for free. But we get 2 and 2, so it's probably okay.
I'm waiting for no one.
He's dead on board right now, so I'm assuming he's got something, but let's hope the lackey is enough then.
My eyes are open.
Okay, so tuck, 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 tuck. Perfect, I believe. So trade 4, 5, 7, yeah.
We need more.
Here we go.
Valera versus Jaina.
You asked for it. Watch your back.
I'd prefer a dagger over Luthor. Was she excited when she heard you won? Yeah, so we didn't like properly celebrate yet because I fell asleep in the couch because I couldn't really sleep. It was hot and I had coffee and stuff, so by the time it was 6 a.m. I like just dozed off and then she woke up.
Hello. The pleasure.
You could coin this into dagger into this, but then you don't have time for your lackeys. So it's fine. So it was just like I was half asleep, half awake. So it was more like, yep, I won. She's like, you won, that's great and stuff. But I basically just went to bed. Oh my god. Miscreants are good, huh? Yeah, we got the tempo ones. Well, he's we talked about it, Zenturk. He has a very, very strong macro understanding of this game. And that helps a ton with consistency. This hand is illegal. It most definitely is. GG's again, language hacker. What's up? This is a very illegal hand.
This only works on a simple mind.
Just woke up. Dagger does a lot of work here, but I think I go for lackeys again, and then 2 damage and evolve are both pretty good. Okay.
Evil is fun.
So many viewers.
Wow. And this is how Dummy is very playable in Rogue, right? You just need enough quality to offset the value loss. But if your deck is very high quality, target Dummy actually gets quite a bit better.
City of mages.
How does this work? I think I just give him the Crusader and say, enjoy yourself.
So many options.
I don't think you taunt, right? Because that means conjures is a thing. I think you just Yeti and then next turn get ready to do this. Yeah. Wow. That's a good blizzard. It's a really good blizzard. We're still winning for now. He might portal the cannon here. We'll see.
I will hold them off.
Hey, thank you, you're a wizard. Appreciate that. Wow, enter the Colosseum, huh?
My calculations are flawless.
The slinger. Wow. Okay. Add 2 coins to your hand.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
I don't think I have enough pressure to kill him through conjures, and at 11 and 1, I don't think I want to leave a 7 drop on 1 HP, right? Because he can trade ping conjures, and then I'm close to being able to let him have a conjures, assuming he doesn't roll like 2 taunts or something, right? Missed 2 damage? Wait, what'd I do?
What to do? What to do?
Did I have... Wait, what? Well, I didn't know if the cannon was gonna hit, right? Language hacker? Wait, cannon was already on the board as well.
It's not just the city of mages.
Okay, no, I don't think I made a mistake, but it's understandable. It's like fast paced, right? Should just ban him, yeah. Easy ban. I kind of like putting it to 1 into turn 9 because of Kraken and Shovel Fist, so.
Here we go.
It is not my time.
Could be a Burgle match, right? And then Burgle instead of Jeweler for Flame Strike. Because Jeweler's pretty good Kraken target anyway. Whew. Pog. 2 damage daggers. That's how it works. I'm sure of it. Alright, Portal Ping is really sweet here for him. But the 1/1 lifts for Chemist. Go back to lurking. It's fine, man. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Oh, this is insane, by the way. It freezes everything. It's so good. It's so strong.
Well played.
He's a little overconfident, though. I'm not your regular rogue, boy. I have removal. It's funny, right? To be in a world where you're the anomaly as a rogue when you have removal. Oh. I think it's a bit funny, yeah. Rogue used to be the king or queen of removal, right? But you just don't see that very often right now, where people just... You play a minion and freeze their boards. It's like, well, there's no possible way you can kill my guy now. What? A spell? This is an arena. You can only kill things with minions. You have the removal he gave you? Yeah, I will say that out of the two of us, his Enter the Colosseum was a bit better. Because it was the turn before Flame Strike, and he basically Flame Strike me. I was like, oh, cool. I guess that happened. Bit of a tricky spot. Scribe loses a ton of value because he has the second piece of Ray in the hand. So I think I might actually go for Jeweler buff trade. Redagger to make him trade the Crow. Flame Strike will hurt. Not much to do about it, I think.
Such a beautiful design. That's the stuff.
Yeah, I'll be okay tanking a loss here after the Enter the Colosseum. It just happens. Your card also prevented you from losing on the spot to 2 cards. Well, he would have never been alive at that point had he not had Enter the Colosseum, so I don't think that point is very valid.
What to do? What to do?
Oh, that's sort of a good start. We'll see what else he has. Kraken, I'm guessing. I think it's the first really good Kraken turn for him. The problem is that... Oh, actually he might Ray, right? Kraken and Ray. And then Scribe doesn't get Raid. That could work.
The might of Dalaran has
Okay, yeah, he's still gonna Raid here. Yeah, okay. The problem is now that we're dead to Pyro. But if we trade, I don't think we win. So, close our eyes, pray for the best.
What a tragedy.
Pyro is really difficult to pick these days, so we'll see if he did it or not. Your average wins in the arena? It's always a tough question to answer. Luckily we have a stats sheet, so just use exclamation mark stats and then you can make your own decision. because it would depend on the range of runs, it would depend on the meta, it would depend, do you add testing drafts, do you add chat drafts, so there's a lot of factors there. But exclamation mark stats is all the stuff there, so have a look-see. Hey Boozer, thank you, man. Much appreciated. GG's. There it is, right? We delayed the conjures for a long time. I think that Astromancer turn was big, right? Versus the Astromancer where we killed it. That was a tough kill there. There was a lot of damage we dumped into that board. But we did not have the pressure to survive a calling.
What to do? Time runs out on
Have you gotten 12 wins with chat draft? Yeah, absolutely. My chat's actually pretty good at drafting. If you want, my YouTube has a lot of the 12-win chat drafts on it. I'll link you one. Maybe the most recent one. Then you can keep browsing if you want to much more. Hey, we did it! Without looking at the screen. Hey. An absolutely outrageous deck. Double contract, double miscreant. The rest of the deck needs to just not be too clunky for this to work, and it was not. The Warden is a little too heavy, but it at least has taunt. The Knight isn't great, but we could use a 5. The 4s are pretty good with double Yeti Soldier. Proud Defender, once again, not too great, but good enough. Couple of 1s. Target Dummy, just definitely not the worst card in the deck. Just really good at comboing stuff. Combo the Panda, combo the Miscreant. You know, Panther, once again, not amazing, but good enough. So